Greetings, greetings, beautiful people. And thank you for tuning in to today's Movement Medicine Morsels. This is September, which is yoga month. So every day there's going to be a little bit about the internal practices of yoga and integrating that into one of our breath and movement flows. So we started with prana, the universal life force, and yesterday started into the ethics of yoga, beginning with non-violence or reverence for life, ahimsa. And we continue today with the next yama or observance, and that is satya, which is truth, the universal truth. So, on one level, it's about speaking the truth, thinking the truth, and acting in truth. And to do this as sweetly and kindly as possible so that it is gentle and loving. But I want to talk about another level of truth, and that is the great truth in yoga, which is that we are all divine within. There is no separation between us and our highest selves, whether you want to call that self Brahma, Christ, Buddha, the Great One, Gaia, doesn't matter. We really believe that these are all different names for the same reality. So the great truth is that we are not separate from that divinity within us, and we are not separate from one another. As Neem Karoli Baba said, same blood in all of our bodies. So in this time when we're thinking about we're all in this together, we're trying to break the boundaries of our own separation from one another and even our own separation from our divinity. And when it comes to the body, let's just admit it, there are a lot of forces at play in society that tell us we're too fat, we're too thin, we're even beyond the body, we're not rich enough, we don't have enough stuff, we have too much stuff, we're eating the right thing, we're eating the wrong thing. There's so many different opinions about basically underscoring the fact that there's something wrong with us. And the great truth is that there's nothing wrong with us at all. But the practices in yoga, qigong, and various other spiritual paths are that we're finding techniques and technologies to find our way back to remembering our potency, our potential, and our beautiful radiance. So I'd like you to think about that, a seed planted in the mind, and we're going to fan this seed with our breath and with a little movement sequence where we will really contemplate and reflect on this concept in our bodies. And you don't have to get it all at once. It takes time. And the beautiful thing is once the doors of perception are open, then we start to see possibilities everywhere. So let's begin standing today. You can do everything seated if that's your preference, and just translate to the posture. So we begin, whether seated or standing, with our feet. We want to really feel our foundation. So just shift your weight from foot to foot, really experiencing what it is to feel one foot taking the weight. This works on the chair as well. Other foot taking the weight. Let the steps get a little bit smaller, balancing things out until you really feel that you are centered over your 2 feet, and bend the knees a little bit and really feel the pads of the toes, the heels. You want to imagine that roots grow from your legs down through your feet into the center of the earth. So you feel very grounded. And you might feel a little bit closer to the earth, but we want to bring the upper body a little bit higher so we're elongating. So we're not losing that foundation. But let's reach our hands up and interlace our fingers and press up, keeping the root, keeping a little bit of bend in the knees, but lifting, getting that elongation. And don't forget the neck, lifting through the neck. Let's take a little side bend on an exhale. Inhale, getting tall, little side bend on the other exhale. Inhale, tall, and let your hands and shoulders float down. So here we're set up the foundational position. We're connected to the heavens, we're rooted and connected to the earth. And this is the posture where we have our most beautiful human form. And it makes it a little bit easier to start to believe the fact that we are connected to the big picture. There's no separation between ourselves and the divine. We have the potential, we have that potency. And like many of the deities, we need to remind ourselves and each other of this because it's so easy to forget. It's so easy to forget. So now to help us to forget the separation and to shake out any of the stagnation, let's literally shake. This is a way of resetting and settling the nervous system, and we can shake off the shackles of separation. We can shake off any of the old constructs in mind and body about we're not enough as we are. Oh, it doesn't mean we get a free pass on cultivating ourselves to be kind. That is just a duty that is a lovely duty to have. But we have a goodness inside that's already there waiting to be accessed. So we're shaking off the SH blank T, just shaking off all that old stuff, clearing it away and releasing, freeing up, getting the cobwebs out of our body. You can use sound as well. Shake up, give yourself a different experience. Shake to a corner, shake into a twist. And we're releasing all that old stuff. That feels better already. Reconnect to heaven and earth and begin some twisting. Let's go right into lifting the back heel. Remember, we're exploring truth. So one of the things we need to do is to melt or break down any of the obstacles that keep us from remembering our true nature. So we're shaking things up, we're twisting. This is so nice for some deep inner muscles. Take a look around, get a different perspective. Looking around your setting and taking a good look is a way to ground oneself in what is. And we'll allow this to come to a natural finish. Now, whether you're seated or standing, we maintain always our resources, the earth below, the sky above. We have our beautiful posture and our breath. Let's place our hands on our low belly because this is a simple one-stop shopping place for tuning into the breath. Sometimes we look in these classes at other places, but if you only have time for one, this is usually a great one to go to because it drops us into our belly, gets us grounded, but also encourages a deeper breath. So inhale, fill the belly, fill yourself with that relief to know that you're enough, the truth of your inner potency. And the inhalation is collecting and drawing in that wisdom from all around us. And exhale, we're releasing, letting go. Inhale, we're bringing in more of the truth, letting it feed our cells, our muscles, our consciousness. And feeling the breath swelling gently in the belly and relaxing in the belly. Soft smile. And we're going to begin our little tapping routine. So today the intention around the tapping is we're going to be tapping love and appreciation and truth into all body parts that we're focusing upon. So there are body parts we probably are ashamed of, we don't like, we think are good features, not good features, and we want to erase all of that. We want to, every feature is a beautiful feature. All parts of the body are a miracle of systems, of structure, of prana flowing through, of life force, of a vehicle through which we experience this incredible life that we have. So that's already a way of tuning into the truth. And now, as we stand tall in our beautiful posture and ready ourselves to continue to receive this, we're tapping appreciation, gratitude, and awe and wonder, this amazing chest, the fact that we have a heart and a thymus and lungs, the fact that we can be boosting our immune system, we have the ability to shift energy and belief. Pretty cool. And now one hand on the hip and cupping the hand and loving the lungs and the chest. Those organs, what they do for us inside all the time. Beautiful service. Thank you. And then coming around the chest area and then coming into the armpit area. You can drape your arm over your head and open up that area. Here we've got that beautiful lymphatic system, so many rich lymph nodes in the armpit, and opening up the side lungs and stretching some of the muscles. Oh, that brilliant skeleton, the marvelous organs and muscles. And the truth of the wonder and the power that we are, the love that we are. Coming down underneath the arm, cupping. Every touch is an awakening. Every touch is spreading love. And clapping, a clear, bright sound that further clears the energy inside because it creates a sound vibration, ultrasound, but it also vibrates to connect with the space around us. And even though we're connecting on the internet, there may be distance between us, but yet there's no distance. We're connecting. So coming into cupping, and every touch aware, every touch appreciating, every touch tapping in the information of truth, that we are one with divinity, we are one with the source of all, and we are one with creation, trees, animals, one another, different races, different elements. And just let that relax. Feel how much more freedom, even a little bit of freedom. Celebrate even a little bit of an aha or a sense of release. Coming back to beautiful, tall, feeling even easier to be in this beautiful posture, owning our empowerment, our potency, our potential. And fake it till you make it. So we're using the posture of incarnating, and eventually other parts of us catch up. And it's the practice on a regular basis that yields the fruits. Even if you don't feel it, practice. Taking the hand on the hip and cupping over the lungs, loving the thymus, loving the endocrine system, loving the lungs. This decongests if you're getting stuffed up. Keeping our lungs healthy during this time when lungs are a little bit vulnerable. We need to strengthen ourselves. And we can strengthen ourselves in the truth as well as in our movements and breath. So we're coming around the chest and breast region, and then we're celebrating the lymph nodes, the side ribs, the skeleton, the bones, the muscles, the lungs, and cupping from the armpit down the underside of the arm, loving every part. No complaints about parts hanging down. Everything is beautiful. The older we get, the more wisdom we have. That's another practice of truth, is can we look into the mirror and love what we see? Clapping the hands, feeling the energy. Coming over the hand, getting those fingernails, loving these hands, all the beautiful things these hands do, from cooking, creating, caressing, healing, coming up with love, every touch consciousness, every touch bringing truth, waking up to the truth in every part of the body, boosting circulation. Let that swing a little bit. And now we're going to come to the top of the head. Now don't shrink. The touch on the top of the head can maybe unconsciously make us shorten, but reach up through the neck and stay lofty. You're stretching up into the tapping and tapping all over the scalp. This is also waking up all kinds of things inside the brain, because this ultrasound vibration is rippling through the fluids in the brain, through the hemispheres of the brain. Just feel all of that. I don't even have enough time for all the words to describe everything, so just go into the feeling. Lightly tap at the temple area, and if you've got glasses on, you might want to slip them to the top of your head. Lightly at the temple area, and allow your jaw to hang. Lovingly around the eyes, the magnificence of the skull, like a helmet protecting the brain, yet with apertures for the parts of the brain that come out into our senses. So there are orbits through which the eyes, part of the brain, can see. There are holes through in the brain, in the skull, through which the ears can hear, through which the nose can breathe, and so on and so on. And then lovingly tapping underneath the cheeks, a little fluffing up. You can even pinch those cute cheeks. Appreciation, appreciating the truth, the miracle that you are, the perfection that you are. Tapping a little bit on the ears and rubbing the earlobes and massaging the little area, the flap in front of the ear. You can do that again if you like. So many nerve endings and acupuncture points and marma points. Those are the pressure points in yoga and Ayurveda. So many nerve endings in the ears and in our fingers, in our tongue, in our face. And then yawning a little bit. Releasing any tension. Letting the jaw be relaxed. And then tapping the throat, freeing the throat, releasing any constrictions, tapping that wonderful appreciation into the sides of the neck and even the back of the neck and into the base of the skull. Let's shake out through the hands, release the shoulders and shake out. Maybe there's been a bit of tension that's poofed and released out to the surface, and you can further let go by shaking it out to the ground, letting the earth receive it, even shaking out to the sky, letting the sky receive it, and it just returns back into pure energy. It releases any holding or colored, any tone, tinted, a tint of heaviness, a tint of fear. Is just releasing into pure energy once again. And let's come into the chest with a bit of sound. Let your voice, hear your voice. Let it open your breath. Let it clear your lungs. Coming down into the abdomen and celebrating and appreciating and being awed by these organs, liver and gallbladder on the right, purification systems, stomach and spleen, stomach, part of our digestive system, absorption, taking in minerals, the spleen, part of our immune system, the pancreas, part of our metabolic system, all of those small intestines. Think of your height times 4. That's how much tubing you have in the small intestines. They're absorbing. They're helping to digest and bring nutrients to create all the tissues in our body. Can you tell I'm excited about anatomy and physiology? There you go. I want you to be excited too, because this wonder and miracle is inside all of us. The large intestine, cupping up your right side, coming across approximately the belt line, cupping down the left side, and then coming into the tailbone. If you can reach from behind with a back bend, or you can reach in between. The anus and the back of the rectum hardly get the love they deserve. So sending love and appreciation. And then coming into the buttocks, you can give yourself a little shimmy, shake the hips. Hips can hold a lot of tension. And we want to release any lies, any holding, any separation, and really tap into life force flowing. Coming down into the backs of the legs, reaching down, and of course, loving the thighs. Don't complain about your hamstrings saying they're tight. They are miraculous. What's tight? What's loose? It's just all relative. Coming down the outsides and backs of the calves. These calf muscles are connected to our heart. So isn't that wonderful? Coming down behind the ankles, over the tops of the feet, loving the toes, love your feet. Coming up the inside of the arches, behind the ankles, and cupping, loving those ankles. Coming all the way up, loving those knees, loving your thighs just as they are. Strong thighs, strong hips, cupping around and into the kidneys. The kidneys can hold fear. We want the kidneys to be supple, warm, and have courage. Use some sound to help them. Oh, and then coming up to standing and rubbing the kidneys to really warm them, to warm them. Warming so that they melt. We know that fear can be contracting, so we want the warmth of expansion. And setting our feet, connecting to the earth, connecting the whole tip of the spine up to the sky, and then resting the palms over the kidneys, settling the energy, smiling, feeling the fruits of this little journey that we've taken. Very simple exercise, but adding a very specific intention, awakening the truth within us, in our minds, in our cells, in our bodies, in our breath. And now breathe into your kidneys, directing your breath to fill the back of your body and fill your palms as you stand tall, now that you know your true nature. And it will happen that you'll forget. I do all the time. It happens. That's why we have things like yoga and qigong and each other to help us remember, to cheer each other on. Stand at your full noble height. Know that you are divine. Know that there is no separation between you and the great energies, or separation between you and anyone else, even other species. We're all in this together. And we'll bring this to a close by stepping the feet together and bringing the hands in prayer position. Take a moment to appreciate this wonderful satya, the truth of who we are. And let this inform the rest of your day or evening. And we finish by folding the hands over the low belly so we remain grounded. We want to have always a beautiful balance between our foundation, our grounding, and our lightness, our expansion. I thank you for joining in for today's Movement Medicine Morsel. If you missed the episodes on prana, which is life force energy, and ahimsa, nonviolence or reverence for life, those were September 1st and 2nd. You can check them out on my YouTube channel, or you can go through the Facebook. They're going to stay up. Many blessings. I always welcome your comments, your questions, your suggestions. So if you feel moved to bring your fingers to the keyboard and type something, I read everything. And thank you. Many blessings.